So I told you guys, this is part of the support that foreign agencies and give to South African government to support foreigners. So this 5 billion will be cut off because they support these small businesses of foreigners in South Africa, so that they can help them grow their small and businesses. So these are little consequences that are going to be happening along the time. And you see now the government is saying that, hey, so you people march for march, you do not know that we have this money that is coming from other agencies. Now the government officials are speaking the truth. They were hiding this money to, even the foreigners don't know that this money existed, right? But they were giving them to hand to foreigners to support their small businesses. Now this money will be cut off. Yes, these are other type of consequences.
Why? Ungatsheli ohlangana Zulu ukuthi kunemali ewu5 billions lena ekhishwa amazwe angaphandle ewakhiphela abantu abakulelizwe abazohweba kanjalo nama permit resident umbuzo permanent resident. Umbuzo wami ke
Thank you, Honorable Kahula.
Why abantu babuke wena bayashaya amaphoyisa esenyuke emgwaqweni wena uthula awuyi kochaza
Mama Kahula,
bala ngokusemthethweni phendula
Honorable Kahula, I'm going to switch.
What? 60 billion rand from foreign governments to support foreigners to open tuck shops in our township. Kusevele wayibhamukisa. Vele wayexpose lento umama we-EFF Makhawula. Uyambona ukuthi ushocked uStella Ndabeni. And then onke ama-elite la eParliament ayasho ukuthi lenyoni yaseNatal kamama wayibhamukisa uMagogo lento. Waveza imfihlo esingazazi ukuthi vele kanti labantu baxhasiwe ngoba bela kuma-townships ethu with 60 billions. And then buka, if you notice uStella Ndabeni, she's aware that there's so much money for these people ukuthi bezorana ama-townships ethu. And then it's coming from foreign government. So their government are giving these people this money to come and open shops, to take our economy, to run our economy, even in townships. Yo, guys, I'm shocked. But I'm going to play you the entire video. Then it's up to you to leave your comment. But wow, why Pamgis Magogo? Magogo exposed them, and then they are so shocked because the elites in the parliament, they think we are just stupid. So our country is sold. But just listen to the entire clip. Once you have listened to the clip, you're welcome to leave your comment. Thank you.
Honorable Kahula, the next opportunity has been allocated to you.
Mamela Minister.
Minister, umhlaba wonke uyawubona uyanyakaza ngenxa yama-tuck shop abawabonayo abantu bangaphandle. Wona uzibona unganakiwe la eSouth Africa noma yileli parliament kunakwe abantu bangaphandle. Minister, kunombuzo engifuna ungiphendule ngawo ukuthi why ungatsheli ohlangana Zulu noma labantu abamashayo emadolobheni abalisana nalabo abantu bangaphandle bokufika kumabhizinisi ukuthi kunemali ewu5 billions lena ekhishwa amazwe angaphandle ewakhiphela abantu abakulelizwe abazohweba kanjalo nama permit resident umbuzo permanent resident. Umbuzo wami ke
Thank you, Honorable Kahula.
Why abantu babuke wena bayashaya amaphoyisa esenyuke emgwaqweni wena uthula awuyi kochaza
Mama Kahula,
bala ngokusemthethweni phendula.
Honorable Kahula, I'm going to switch off your mic now if you don't listen. Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, House Chair. Umhlonipheki uKhawula uyayazi kakuhle njengelungu elenza umthetho apha. Intoba umphathiswa ojongene nokuphuhlisa amashishini akhasayo akanalo ilungelo lokwenza lento athetha ngayo. lo msebenzi athetha ngawathi 5 billion, that is a determination for those that must get a business visa, is 5 million rands. Under the Immigration Act, Section 22, it is administered by the Department of Home Affairs, not the Department of Small Business Development. Ngiyabonga Mhlonipheki.
If there's a war in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique, in Eswatini, in Lesotho, in Botswana, in Namibia, the first country of safety can be South Africa. And I indicated at that briefing that there is no war even within the SADC region where people could justify flocking to South Africa.
You can go to somebody else's country as a migrant. I've lived in other countries. I've lived in Australia, I've lived in the US, I've lived in the UK, I've lived in the Middle East. But there is a way that you approach living in somebody else's country because you recognize you're a guest. And just as I would if I was coming into your home, I would pay you the respect of recognizing that I'm a guest in your home, that there's a certain duty of care and common sense about how I should conduct myself in your home. That I certainly wouldn't come into your home and then proceed to superimpose myself, my culture, my values, not only on you, but also your space. And then when you tell me that that's not okay, I then tell you that you can't tell me. I think we both would agree that if I did do that, you would say, why don't you get out of my house? And so what you're seeing is a frustration. It's a response, it's a frustration. And you've got to read it as a frustration, because to read it as anything else, read it as something criminal or something malevolent, then what you do is you delegitimize it, which means you don't deal with it for what it is. So I think that there is a true and honest messaging that must be said to our brothers and sisters from other parts of the world and even other parts of the continent that says, of the fact that you're here and you live here and we welcome you here does not mean that you have the right to disregard the rights, customs, cultures, and common decencies of the people in his country you are. You're a guest. And perhaps that message needs to be said loudly.
Those who had properties in South Africa, those properties are in the law. Informal squatter camps and informal settlements are never properties because they are illegal in the country. So you are already violating our law if you're going to tell us about a shack in some informal settlement. That's why we have also, as government, approved the PI, what is the protection of the one that makes sure that when we evict and remove informal settlements, there's no longer going to be informal settlements built in the areas, including the evictions in the informal settlements, in line with our court judgments. So if there's no compensation that will come from government, those who leave their properties, if they are properly legally registered in the country, they can dispose of the properties in the property market in South Africa, whether it's a movable or immovable property. And we are going to seriously appreciate to be told where are the drug debts. Thank you.
5.2 billion. That is the amount taken from South African taxpayers every single year, not to support victims of crime, not to remove guns from our streets, not to improve safety in our communities or create opportunities for our people. Instead, it is spent on housing and feeding 26,000 illegal foreign criminals in South African prisons. According to the minister's own reply to Action SA's parliamentary question, these inmates cost South Africans approximately 17,000 per prisoner per month, amounting to a staggering 5.2 billion every year. One simple solution to prison overcrowding is to deport every single illegal foreign criminal to their country of origin and to ensure their own governments carry the cost of their incarceration. South Africa, we've said it is not a hotel for illegal foreign criminals. When Action SA raised this issue, the minister responded that there are no bilateral agreements in place because South Africa lacks the enabling domestic legislation required to transfer sentenced offenders. So what exactly has the GNU with 75 ministers and deputy ministers been doing for nearly 2 years? Sitting on their hands while South African taxpayers pay the price. In the same period, Action SA, with just 6 members in Parliament, has already introduced 6 bills. This is yet another example of a government more interested in press conference and photo opportunities rather than fixing the real problems while Action SA does the work. As Action SA, we will always put South Africans first. We cannot continue spending 5.2 billion every year to house illegal foreign criminals at a cost of 17,000 per inmate per month. So kan dit nie aangaan nie. For the past 2 years, we have supported this budget vote because we recognize the importance of ensuring correctional facilities function properly. We had a debate in this House on the 25th of March on this very topic, and no movement has been made. We cannot continue giving this department a blank check while this serious issue repeatedly raised in this House remains unresolved. The most urgent of these is the need to deport foreign nationals to serve their sentences in their countries of origin at their country's expense, not at this expense of South African taxpayers. And if the minister will not introduce the legislation necessary to make this happen, then Action SA will. Also, Minister, I urge you to dig a little bit deeper and come back to South Africans, this is on another matter, as to the real reason why Vusi Kat-Matlala was moved from Kgosi Mapura in December. I put it to you, Minister, you almost faced another big embarrassment. Get back to us with the real reason as to why Vusi Kat-Matlala was moved.
The banning issue that I see people talking about. People wanted President to say foreigners cannot own plaza shops. The constitution of this country, unfortunately, the constitution that people celebrate, the constitution that was adopted by majority, does not allow that. It talks to everyone having a right to trade, but it does give us an enabling environment where it says, but those can be regulated, which is what we are doing. With the fact that there in the Immigration Act, Section 15 of the Immigration Act is very clear on who can trade, who is a non-South African. The Immigration Act, as things stand, between the Department of Home Affairs and DTIC, the determination is that non-South Africans can only be able to trade in South Africa if they invest a minimum of 5 million rands. Now, if the president says everybody has to be compliant, it means if you are going as a non-South African, there's your documentation that gives you the right to be here, and the documentation that gives you the right to trade. So it's not like you're going to come because you are a South African, you don't bring the documents, or you're a non-South African, you can do. So all these things that people are worried about, they are going to be addressed because those people that have the right to trade will be the people that will.
South Africa isn't broken, it's being remixed. From Nigeria to Zimbabwe, the new guest list is long, and you might not be on it much longer. Here is the real reason why the government hasn't fixed the border, and why they probably never will.
The reason as to why the South African government, elites matter of fact, haven't fixed this issue of illegal immigrants coming in and out. Issue, and I say issue because it's an issue to you and I, not to them. To them it's completely beneficial. The reason as to why this has not been fixed as yet is because they need to replace you with third worlders. They are slowly turning South Africa into a third world country, and we are still alive to witness that. This is happening in real time. And you might ask yourself, why would they want to do that? This is the South African government. These are politicians who are put into place to protect us and fight for our rights. Them doing that will completely demolish South Africa. Exactly. That's exactly what they need. That's exactly what they want. Because remember, South Africans started asking too many questions. South Africans started being a bit too revolutionary woke, started gaining a political consciousness. South Africans started becoming a bit too smart for their elites. And they can't afford to have that because you are disturbing their process and their initial plans and motives to steal. They can't have you asking questions at all. They need to be as tyrannical as possible to perform all transgressions that they plan, and they need you to be a slave. Them bringing in third worlders is a solution for them. Because guess what? The third worlders that come from Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and any other countries are the same individuals who don't give a flying rat's ass about South Africa. Whether it rises, whether it falls, they do not care about the communities. They do not care about the crime. They do not care about the drugs. They do not care about anything. Nothing. As long as they are surviving and as long as they are getting food to eat, sending money back to their families, they are good. What the South African government is aiming to do is naturalizing and regularizing them so that they can vote. So that your vote could be immediately intercepted by theirs. And guess who the third worlders are going to vote for? Guess the same government that put them in this country. That's the only way that they will stay in power. They are doing this for power, not for money, for complete power. They have enough money. They make it from thin air. All they need now is power over you, over your family, over all communities. They need you to be complete slaves. And the best way to do that now is to replace you with third worlders. And we unfortunately now live in a society that completely shames you, that shuns you, that calls you xenophobic for protecting your country, for demanding border control. Matter of fact, for demanding proper borders. We are now called xenophobic for loving our countries. They make you feel desolate for wanting, or rather not wanting, South Africa to be easily accessible to other individuals. Think of it like this. You would not allow a random stranger to come in your house and stay for a few months just because they need a place or a roof over their heads and stability and food and financial control or whatever the case is. You do not know their intentions. Leave their intentions. You do not know that individual at all. This is you protecting yourself and individuals that you stay with, individuals that you reside with. They have no problem with that at all. But they have the problem when you express the same feelings when it comes to your country. All of a sudden you're xenophobic. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why these matters are being perpetuated as time goes on. Ask yourself why these matters are being appreciated as time goes on. You are being replaced by the third worlders as we speak. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing, with your slave-minded, vacuous mentality, nothing that you can do to stop it, or to even realize that that is happening. You, 20 years back, would wake up and all you would see are fellow South Africans. You would speak the same language, you would dress the same way, you would resonate with one another, you would understand one another without even speaking. Matter of fact, they even look exactly like you. You would know from a mile away that that is an individual that looks like me, that is close to home. I know that is a South African. Now you wake up 20 years later to a country filled with individuals from other countries. You just solely miss the old South Africa. You haven't adapted to this newly reformed place that accommodates each and every single individual, where all you see is not what you were familiar with at a younger age. You just miss South Africa, and you are shamed for it. And they do this very well. They are trying to turn South Africa into a third world country so that they can carry on stealing, so that they can carry on being in power, so that they can carry on manipulating, being as tyrannical as possible. And it is happening right in front of you. The demolition of the South is not accidental. It is happening and it is purposeful. And if you choose to be a slave to these individuals, then you will slowly suffer the consequences. Change your ways.
You South Africans, you are the people who's taken these people, you make them to occupy your business, you want money. So for that, if we find you are busy doing that, is you are harboring a illegal immigrant. And harboring illegal immigrants and employing illegal immigrants is a heavy fine. I was discussing yesterday, the Department of Home Affairs clearly indicated to me that one person is 10,000. So you must be warned. At the later stage, we come and knock in your door. We say you are under arrest. And I think you have seen it, we have done it with what is happening currently in the country. There are people who think that they can get away, and ultimately when they get arrested, some of them, when you are inside there, it becomes difficult to can get a bail. So don't get into that play.
When you follow up on that case, exactly what is happening in South Africa, at one time you would agree with the South Africans, because you cannot allow people to come to your country and they dictate to you everything. For example, there's a part there called South Beach in Durban, where Nigerians are so many. When a South African go there, an ordinary South African, they'll ask him, what are you doing here? And those are the provocations that even if it happens in Kenya here, it will bring the same reprisal effect.
I just wanted to give my opinion on the issues that is going on in South Africa with the Nigerian refugees. I do agree with the other Kenyan brothers, and I wanted to come on here and let our South African brothers know we fully support you guys. We're behind you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. In Kenya, we're actually having the same issues, not to the same degree as South Africa, but if it ever gets to the same degree, hopefully we as Kenyans do handle business like you guys in South Africa. For now in Kenya, we profile these Nigerian refugees, and I gotta praise the Kenyan police because they rough them up pretty good. They even go as far as watching these West African refugees as a whole. That's one thing gotta give praise to. So I wanted to give thanks to the brothers down in South Africa. Don't let these West Africans try to fool you. They may use talking points like, oh, we are your brothers, when they don't even share DNA with the rest of Africa or Bantu people in general. And for the other Bantu countries, if you don't support South Africans against these West African foreign refugees, you are wrong about that. That's all I gotta say. I support my South African brothers, Bantu unity all the way, and that's it.
Yesterday, they arrested the Mozambican that was he escaped from jail in Mozambique. He specializes in fortuners. They hijack, kill people that drive fortuners, and they move it to Mozambique. That's what he specializes in, fortuners. He was arrested in Sandton yesterday. Now, why am I mentioning that? A year ago, they arrested a security guard in Franschhoek that was responsible for the killing of hundreds of people, thousands of people in Rwanda. So many of you here called me xenophobic. I've embraced that. But here's the issue. This is the uncomfortable thing that you don't want to hear, but you're going to hear today. Illegal foreigners working in your houses, working in your businesses, you don't vet them. You leave them with your children, you don't know who they are. Some of them, when they're in jail in Ethiopia, when they get released from jail, they come to South Africa. When they're in jail in Zimbabwe, when they release, they come here. All illegal foreigners need to leave this country. You stand, you say, it's subtle racism. When you start saying stuff like, but Zimbabweans are hard workers, South Africans don't want to work. No, it's not about South Africans don't want to work. It is your racism that you are hiding, that you prefer a foreigner because they have no rights, they have no union, they have no recourse. I'm saying to you, illegal foreigners are the biggest problem facing us. And if somebody kills your brother, your sister, your mother, and they are not documented, it's only then when you'll see the harm that illegal foreigners are causing us. They come here, no papers, they come here. So I'm saying to you, go to every restaurant in Cape Town, there's illegal foreigners working. Stop hiring illegal foreigners. Get somebody that's South African that you can vet, that you know if something is missing at your place, you'll know, you will help the police to find them. Illegal foreigners should If PEPFAR disappears, it's 70% of the HIV, the fight against HIV/AIDS budget. Illegal foreigners, in my opinion, should not even be getting medical attention in South Africa. It might sound inhumane, but you have medical aid, I have medical aid. The people that don't have medical aid must stand in the line, and there's 10 Zimbabweans ahead of him. The people that applies for housing must stand in the line because there's 300 Mozambicans on that same housing list. South Africans, I'm saying to you today, you guys are the captains of the industries. It's time for us to agree that 12% of our prisoners in jail are illegal foreigners. That can't be normal. So I'm still saying to you, Abahambe, they must go. Next year, when we start the campaign, we are coming to all the businesses, all your businesses that are hiring illegal foreigners, and we're going to give you South Africans to work there. Because you seem not to find South Africans that can work. We will bring you CVs of people that can work. Get rid of your illegal foreigners now, because next year is not going to be easy.
It's a huge, huge issue politically in the north. Is it starting to become as big an issue politically here?
Here's the issue. What you don't know is that the whole of Europe, all the illegal foreigners in Europe, all of them put together, it's half of the illegal foreigners we have in South Africa. That's a stat that you don't know. It is going to be an issue. Politicians that says today, no, illegal foreigners are welcome here. When the tide turns, they will say another issue. It's a big problem here. We're going to fight for it. It is becoming a political issue. Donald Trump was chosen president at the back of standing firm. Some of us has been fighting this issue. We are going to turn on the volume higher. We are not going to turn back. It is the biggest issue facing this country because South Africans will not continue to watch the majority of these people hiring illegal foreigners while they don't have jobs. Sooner or later, shit is going to break out. We must prevent that from breaking out. They've taken advantage of our country. It is time for them to go home. And most of you in this room are the enablers. You are the enablers. When there's xenophobic attacks, and we pray it doesn't happen, you played your role in that because this is South Africa for South Africans. And when you have illegal foreigners here, the governments in Africa, where they're coming from in the rest of Africa, they love sending the young males here because they know they're the ones that can topple them. They're the ones that can march against them. They're the ones that can protest against them. So they send their problems to South Africa. We have enough of our problems in South Africa. Those problems need to go back.
I don't think there is any country in the world which would agree to undocumented and illegal immigration to its territory, because undocumented and illegal immigration to any country poses existential threat to that country from a security point of view, from a resource allocation point of view, from a sovereignty point of view, from an external and internal security point of view. If you have got a lot of undocumented people in your system, you will not know what to do and what not to do in relation to all issues that relate to the allocation of resources, that relate to just how you deal with the security questions in your own areas. Now, there are issues which, of course, we must then be able to then respond to and deal with, which in many instances are presented as if these are progressive politics by a lot of political leaders from different formations. One mistake which the progressive movement in its entirety must not make is try to delegitimize the legitimate concerns of the people, whatever number they are. To delegitimize the concerns of our people is not revolutionary. You must always be on the side of the people. To be a revolutionary means that you must be on the side of the people and be able to articulate their perspectives, their views, their grievances with exact precision, and understanding in a manner that is going to bring about long-term solutions to whatever issues that our people are raising. And one of the cautions which we want to give to the progressive forces or left forces in South Africa is that we must not stand on the sidelines and insult people who are raising legitimate issues around immigration. Let me be specific to say that there is no wisdom, there is no revolutionary consciousness, there is no revolutionary clarity, there is nothing tactically superior in insulting the march and march processes that are led by Jacinta Ngobese Zuma, by Ngizwe Mchunu, by Phakelo Mthakati, and all of the people who are at the forefront of raising and otherwise legitimate issues.
Employment rate stands at 46%, which is totally unacceptable. Behind every statistic is a young person who wants to work, who wants to contribute, and who wants to build a future, and who wants dignity. It is the graduate who sends out, yes, dozens of applications and receives no reply. It is the young entrepreneur with an idea but no access to capital. It is the skilled artisan who cannot find an opportunity to demonstrate their own talents. We cannot accept this as normal. Young people are among the most affected by violent crime and theft. These are some of the greatest threats to our country's prosperity and to social stability in our country. Faced with these challenges, there are some who blame the problems of unemployment and crime and poor service delivery on foreign nationals. Even as we recognize the challenge of illegal immigration, of having undocumented migrants in our country, which we are taking decisive action to address, our problems are in the main our own problems, and which we have a responsibility to fix ourselves, working together. We recognize that many communities are frustrated by crime, unemployment, and the pressure on public services. Now, these frustrations are real, and we can never dismiss them. I addressed the nation the other day, and I acknowledged that these are the cries and these are the challenges that our people are experiencing. But we must also be honest about the causes of these challenges. The roots of these challenges lie in primarily the inequality that we have inherited from our past. Yes, many say we should stop blaming our past, but it is our past that continues to cast a shadow on the future that our people aspire to. Yes, slow economic growth is also a cause.
You know, African men has exposed themselves that being illegal is normal for them. There's no dignity on them. They just don't care. They just don't want to build the Africa that they are talking about. They just don't want to practice the Pan-Africanism in a lawful way. I don't know where Thabo Mbeki is watching right now at this moment. The guy exposed himself that he was in South Africa through a visiting visa. He overstayed. Out of the blue, he decided to work without a working permit. Then when it's not working, he decided to apply for an asylum, abusing the asylum laws in South Africa. So tell me, where is the xenophobic on this part? So the Deutsche Welle reporter was removing the cameras from focusing on the reason, the part of him confessing that he's illegal in South Africa. Where is the dignity African man?